gathering here on the site where in 1765 our forefathers here in southeastern North Carolina said no to taxation without representation.
We're coming to City Hall tonight to protest forced annexation, which is taxation without representation. And I'm just so happy you all took time out of your jobs, your lives, to join with us in this fight. Now, there'll be a number of speakers, as Curtis has alluded to, and we sincerely hope that this is a productive, remember, let's keep this thing positive and go forth into this good night.
What we want to do, we want to start with, I think very appropriately, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. There's enough American flags here. Face one, please. Let's remind them what it's all about if they may hear us this evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I said to you when I started out, we stand on the ground where in 1765, southeastern North Carolina said no to taxation without representation. This is a heritage, this is a tradition in southeastern North Carolina. It spread throughout the colonies. As I said to you this morning on the show, it was at this time in October that 9 colonies joined together. The third on their list was, we are not a people and we will not be a nation founded with taxation without representation. We need to remind the Wilmington City Council, we need to remind the state legislature and our governor, and we need to remind those folks in Washington, you ask us before you take our money. We are at a historic time here in America, and if you don't understand that, well then take a little time to crack a history book. This is not the nation that we said we would pass on to our children. These are not the principles we said as Americans that we would pass on to our children and our grandchildren. And by the way, we need to educate our children and grandchildren, because guess what? What's going on in Washington, they will be paying this for generations, paying for this for generations to come. That is wrong. I'm 52 years old on June 7th of this year. By the way, if you have forgotten that date, that's the date where the delegate from the great state in the Commonwealth of Virginia stood up and said, it's time for us to pass a declaration of independence from an oppressive government. It's time for us to found our own nation based on our own principles and to stand up and fight for that. June 7th, 1776. That's the day the resolution for the Declaration of Independence was introduced. And as I said, these organizations like myself, our heads are spinning. Our staff and many of us that are trying to track these issues that are going on in Washington are scary. You have no idea of the dozens upon dozens upon dozens of tax schemes that are now being discussed in the halls of the state legislature, being discussed in the halls of Congress, mostly at cocktail parties down in Washington, and here in Wilmington. I cannot believe that it's 2009 and we have a city council right here in southeastern North Carolina that says, I will take from you without your consent and I will give to someone else. That is wrong, and we need to tell them that it's wrong, whether it's in Wilmington or Brunswick County or Pender County or Onslow County, Duplin County, all the way to Raleigh, all the way to Washington. We need to say, no, we're done. Let's take care of our problems. Are you against taxation without representation? Okay, good. Well, you know what? We have 2 TV stations here, a number of other media outlets. Turn around and tell them, no more taxation without our consent. No.
First of all, my name is Darren Bax. I'm with the John Locke Foundation, the state's premier free market think tank. I just wanted to say I'm honored to be a guest here at your tea party. It's amazing that if I told you a few years ago that people in North Carolina or anywhere could be forced by cities to live in cities against their will and pay city taxes against their will, you say I was crazy. And in most states, I would be crazy. But unfortunately, in North Carolina, when it comes to annexation, we are the home of crazy. There's no question about it. Is Wilmington going to be offering any people from Monkey Junction any services they need? No. Are they going to provide any benefits whatsoever to people in Monkey Junction? No. What are they doing? Why are they annexing people? Because they've mismanaged their city, and it's a financial bailout. That's what forced annexation has become in this state. And quite honestly, like all of us, we have to set priorities, but they don't. What do? They build convention centers that lose money. So what they have to do is they are addicted to property taxes, and they need your money. And what needs to happen is no more spending, not only from Wilmington, excessive spending in the federal government, but also the state. We need to take back the state, as well as the federal government, and in the local government. Forced annexation is a very stark reminder of taxation without representation. But we've got nationalized industries on the federal level. We have a state that's taxing us excessively. It's time to take back the state. Enough is enough, especially with annexation. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Hey, by the way, for all you folks out there that may not know this, I'm a citizen of and taxpayer of the city of Wilmington. Welcome to my city. I don't think you don't pay to come here. You need to tell Mr. Quinn that tonight. There are patriots across the state that fight every day. Although we are outvoted, we don't get a chance to bring bills to see the light of day, that don't get debated, budgets that get pushed through without elected officials even having to say. Can you believe this is happening in a state in 2009? 23 minutes last year to debate the budget, a $21 billion budget that affects you at your kitchen tables every day. 23 minutes, no amendments, no debate. I don't know about you, but it sounds like a dictatorship to me. That doesn't sound like America. One of those patriots that fights, and his group fights throughout southeastern North Carolina, across the state. On April 15th, they're going to be traveling down to a rally in South Carolina. It appears South Carolina's got the right idea down there. And our good friend Joe Miller from the Fair Tax Organization.